Hey guys, Coach Simpson. This is day number 2. I've been going through how I would organize my staff and just a couple ideas for you. Again, I want to stress I'm no expert. I'm old and I've done it before and made a lot of mistakes. And so maybe some of this stuff can help you as you go to organize your staff. If you just get one little nugget that you can use and maybe it's worth your time. If you would like to ask me questions further about this, you can reach out to me on Twitter. I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups, or you can email me fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com after I kind of go through. I'm just doing little segments on this channel. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, hopefully, and kind of roll through. So building a staff is what I'm going to talk about today as far as actual where you put guys. So the reality is, unless you're from the great state of Texas, where apparently they just hire anybody they want to hire, most of the time you're kind of dealing with constraints on how many guys you have on staff, who is probably going to be retained, and then who you're going to be able to bring in. I've been very blessed at the last 2 schools. I've been at 3 schools, but the last 2 in Arkansas, very blessed to walk into some pretty awesome guys and been able to bring in a guy or 2 with me. The most recent school I was at, I was able to bring 3 guys in with me. And so there's different scenarios. So this is not a end all be all. And this is not you got to have 10 coaches. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to go ahead and tell you, if I was having to organize as far as who is the most ahead, X and O scheme wise, these are kind of what you're looking for in strength of coaches. Now, understand coaches have different strengths. And I went through that yesterday. You've got your motivators, you've got your organizers, you've got your X and O guru guys, you got your drill guys, you've got all those different guys. And so you've got to kind of balance that part of it with this part of it. But I'm talking mainly about experience with X and O and has been there and done that, or one of those guys, you can tell those kind of fast rising young guys that are really, really talented. If I was building a staff, this is kind of what I would do. If you're at a small school, here, and I'm not at a giant school, I'm at a 6A now, but I've always had to kind of fill in whatever the highest number is here that I couldn't find. So if I'm going to find somebody, for instance, I've got a guy who replaced me at Southside doing a great job there now, Brian Reardon, that I hired pretty much as a first year. He was maybe a second year coach and he was a coordinator, and he wasn't ready for that. And so basically he was my number 1 here, but I had to kind of help him. And then when he got really solid at it, could turn him loose. Because in my opinion, your number 1 spot you're going to have to find is whoever is coordinating the side of the ball that is away from you. Or if you're at a big enough school where you're hiring 2 coordinators, those are kind of the top there. If you're going to be completely let them run the show, those guys have got to be very, very strong in what they do. Because that's a lot of time, a lot of organization, and they're in charge of a lot of other people. So that's your number 1 guy you're going to hire. So if you have a strength on the offensive side of the ball, that defensive coordinator has got to be solid. If you're the opposite, the offensive coordinator is going to be really solid. I'll put a little caveat in this also. If you're a defensive guy hiring an offensive guy, not only does he have to be really, really good, he's got to be somebody that believes in the same belief system you do, and he's got to be very, very loyal. Offensive coordinators, and I am one, so I can say this, we tend to have a little bit of an ego of how many points we score. As a head coach, that changes to you just want to have 1 more point than your opponent. And so sometimes that has to be stressed to the offensive coordinator of here's how I expect us to try to win. So that's just something to think about as you're hiring coaches. Second thing I'd say is the line, especially the offensive line. That's a very, very important position. If you can't find a guy to do that, you need to do it. Because as the offensive line goes, probably your offense is going to go. Even at the NFL level, teams that do well, really well coached on the offensive line. It needs to be a point of emphasis. So that's the second spot I would look. Third one I've kind of thrown in here, and a lot of times this guy is going to do something else. So he's going to be a strength coach plus whatever else it is. But that guy, and if you can't find a good one, it's going to be you, sets the tone for your team in the offseason. He needs to know what he's doing, but also he's got to be in line with you as far as mental toughness, physical toughness, what you're wanting to stress during the offseason. So that, to me, has kind of moved up the chart as I've gotten older. And that's been me multiple years because you've got to get it done how you want it and then show somebody what you expect. But a lot of times that can be paired. Like an offensive line coach could be your strength coach, could be your coordinator, could be whatever it's going to be. Fourth one, if you are a guy like for me, I call my offense. A lot of times I've taken a younger guy underneath my wings and kind of allowed him to grow. And as he's grown and gotten better in that area, I've removed myself farther from that. But I've always tried to put a guy who's going to coordinate that side of the ball near me, who kind of wants to grow in that role. Usually that's going to be a younger coach and give them opportunities. Fifth one's quarterback coach. You know, if you anything on offense, that quarterback's a guy and he's got to be right. And that coach has got to be patient with him and get him where he needs to be for your offense to go where they want to go. Sixth one is special teams coach. And I put on there, that can also, usually that's also going to be a position coach, but special teams are highly overlooked at every school I've been at every level I've been at. And that's been a way we've had to be able to take advantage. Generally for me, that's going to be a guy who's newer to football, who's wanting to move up the chain, and who's going to take it serious because those kids will respond to how he takes it. And that, I've been blessed the last couple of schools I've been at to have some really good special teams coordinators, really at every school. I think the fact that you give them ownership of that with parameters you may have, you know, allows them to really want to show, hey, you know, I know what I'm doing and I'm going to be a good coach. And I got to cut my teeth doing that, you know. So my first time as a varsity coach, I think it just got given to me because no one else wanted it. But man, I really took to it, and it really, to me, this guy is going to be a guy who has an opportunity to work with both sides of the ball with multiple players. He's got to motivate kids, so he's got to be a good coach. 7, DB coach. A lot of times you can see I put on there can be a defensive coordinator. Usually, in my defensive coordinators coach one spot. Generally, it's been linebackers, but you may have one that really his strength is DBs or wherever it's going to be. But DBs have got to be good, just like your quarterbacks. Quarterback makes a mistake, everyone in the stadium knows. Your DBs make a mistake, everybody in the stadium knows. Okay. Then your linebackers, offensive skill coach, it could be receivers, running backs, you know, and then defensive line coach. I'm not saying these are not important positions. What I'm saying is at some point as a coach, depending on where you are, you've got to make a priority list. This is mine. Yours may be different, and it's okay if it is. We can still be friends, you know, but this is just a general kind of guideline as you're working in there with whatever situation you're dealing with. All I would recommend is that you come up with what you think is most important. And then as you're now making hires, moving guys around, you use something like this as a guideline for it. And it will help you a whole lot as you grow as a head coach. If you'd like more information from me, you can reach out to me at FB Coach Simpson on Twitter, fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. You can also like this video. That would help me out a little bit, or subscribe to this channel. I hope to put more information out. This week is going to be about coaching, kind of general stuff, and take what you can learn, and whatever you disagree with, you know, don't take that, you know, but hopefully it'll give you maybe some ideas as you move forward as a head football coach. Thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll have another video up here tomorrow night.